Hey guys, it's Mitch of All Trades. Welcome back to another beautiful episode. Well, no. Hey guys, it's Mitch of All Trades. Welcome to my beautiful channel. Hey guys, it's Mitch of All Trades. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. And welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how to pass the Nclex with 75 questions. I think this is time where everyone, well not everyone, majority of you guys starting nursing school are graduating, or you guys are thinking of, you guys are registering for the Nclex, you guys are thinking about the Nclex, you guys are already like studying for the Nclex. So these are my tips on how to study for it and how to pass with 75 questions. The Nclex, which is a National Council licensure examination. Okay, so basically it's a standardized test that that gives you a license as a nurse if you pass. So the exam is full of 265 questions, I believe. As you answer each question, the exam system automatically determines if you're passing or failing. So by the time you answer a question, hit next, it tells you, okay, got that question right, got that question right. So at question 75 of 265 whole questions, at question 75, the system automatically determines if you've gotten 75% of the questions right. If you have, then it stops. If you haven't, then you're going to keep going at 76, 77, 78, 79 till you get 75% of the questions that you've answered correct. The minimum amount of questions that you can take are 75. Everyone's goal is just to take 75 questions and be out. Like, deuces, deuces, deuces. So, my thing that I've been getting lately, or a lot of things that people have been asking me, they've been telling me, Michelle, what did you use to study? What did you use to study? What book is this? I heard this one works. I heard this one works. I heard this one works. So, like, there's a whole bunch of practice exam books and websites. There's, like, Kaplan, there's Lippincott, there's Saunders, there's UWorld, there's My Best Grade, or there's this, like there's a whole bunch, basically, there's a whole bunch. And a lot of people ask me too, have you used this one? Have you used this one? Does this one work? Does this one not work? Which one's better? I heard this one happen. I heard this one happen. And it's like, I guess there's so, like, you guys watch a lot of research videos and stuff like that, and they tell you which one's better, which one's not. What I think is that they're all the same. I think they're all the same pretty much. And for any of you guys who are thinking, okay, there's just so many options, let me just buy all of them. No, you're not gonna buy all of them. You're gonna pick one and buy one. All right? And let me just tell you why. Okay, so just fast forward back to school. Just fast forward back to nursing school. Before we take this mock Nclex exam, it's called the HESI. And to study for that, I used Lippincott. Lippincott is this giant textbook. What I did was I downloaded the app on my phone, and the app basically has all the questions in the book. So the book had like over 2,000 questions. So I had over 2,000 questions on my phone in the app. So what I did, because I walk around, let's say I'm in school, I'm in the cafeteria, I'm eating, I'm on the bus, I'm here, I'm at an appointment, I'm waiting in line for something, like, I always have my phone on me. So that's what I use to answer questions on my phone. And I used Lippincott to take the HESI, and I passed. Now for the Nclex, I use UWorld, and I only focus on UWorld, and I did that and I passed. Basically, I used two different things, and with either one of them I passed too. So that's what I'm telling you, it doesn't really matter which one you use, because number one, they all have over 2,000 questions in each of them, which are all basically the same thing. Tip number one is you have to answer all the questions. Whatever choice you make, you have to make sure you answer all the questions in the book. A lot of people, they make this mistake of they buy everything and they do a little bit of questions in everything. And that's a waste. That's a waste of money. So I suggest, okay, if you're picking Kaplan, make sure you stick to Kaplan and answer every single question in that book, or every single question in that website. You have to make sure you answer every single one of them. So that's why it's good to plan ahead. Like the HESI, I used the app, right? And the app divided each It was divided by the body system. So there was a digestive system, endocrine system, muscular system. So what I did was like, okay, week 1 and week 2, I'll do the system. Like that's kind of how I divided it, and I made sure that for that week, I answered all the questions in that under that segment. I answered all the questions in that section. Anything that I got wrong, I went back. Because it gives you the option of dividing them. Okay, the ones that you got wrong goes under this section of the folder. So after I answered all the questions, I went to the section of the folders of the one that I got wrong, and I redid them. And that's what I did for Lippincott. For when I was studying for the Nclex, I used UWorld, and it was basically the same thing too. They were all divided by body systems. I had less time when I was studying for the Nclex, so what I did was I had only 4 weeks, so each day was every 3 days I'm studying one system, something like that basically, but I just divided it. But my tip, I'm basically saying that you have to make sure that you answer every single question. Alright? Get your money's worth and use everything, okay? For the Nclex, I use UWorld. I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of it because I feel like that's the most popular one. Well, in my class, everyone was talking about it. When I was studying for the Nclex, I was confused. Thank God I met up with these 2 girls from school, and one of them, she was going to take her exam like in the next 2 days, and then her subscription was good to like another month. So thank God she was so nice. That was really nice of her. She was like, you know what, Michelle, when I'm done, you can have my password, you can have my username and code. I was like, Jesus. So let me get down to the pros of it. The pros of it is that the format is similar to that of the Nclex. So I guess it preps you mentally so that when you take the exam, it's familiar backgrounds, familiar fonts, familiar colors and stuff like that. Another thing that it had was it had like test review, like a mock test kind of thing. And when you take it, it tells you the percentage, what the likelihood is that you're going to pass the Nclex. And a lot of people like that. To me, it didn't really make much of a difference. But I guess the fact that it gives you like a percentage of probability, I guess that's a good thing. The only con I would say is maybe the pricing. A lot of people don't like to, it's pretty expensive, especially when you're a college student. Like, you don't have money to be thrown around like that. It was pretty expensive, so what a lot of people did, basically they split the money and they're using the same username and password. Lippincott, I told you I had the app, and I did have the physical textbook, but I had the app, which I felt was much better. One thing is that for the app, I ended up having to pay for the app, which was weird. But I guess it makes sense because I can have the app and not have the book. The price for the app, I think it was the same price as the physical book, so, but then again, it's whatever. It was worth it though. It was really helpful. They were all very helpful. So yeah, whatever it is that you're studying, just stick to one. People have told me Kaplan works too. If you're gonna pick Kaplan, do Kaplan and just do that. Because if you try to add more onto your plate, you're not gonna be able, unless you're able to finish all the questions from both sources, then kudos to you, like that's good. But I know for me, and if you're like me, it would be better to just stick to one. Another thing is make time to rest. Make time to rest, bro. Like that's how much you have to organize your time for studying. Like for me, I made sure that I studied every morning. I did my assigned questions and did that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's always a time for everything. You don't have to study from morning till night. For me, my brain can't take that much information, and at a certain point I'm just not grasping it. So for me, what I did was I made sure that I spent, like, you have to be strict on it. Like for me, I wrote it down on a piece of paper. Okay, Monday I'm doing this and that, this and that. And once I completed the questions and answered the questions, and the ones I got wrong, I reviewed the rationale, which is another tip. You have to review the rationale of your questions. Whatever question they get wrong and it gives you the answer and the rationale, you have to read it. I never used to do that, but if you never used to do that, then you should do that. Okay? Read the rationale. So basically, going back to what I was saying. So basically every morning I'll answer the questions. Later evening I have time to watch TV if I wanted to, or do something else. But just make sure you organize your time. You don't want to be burnt out and stressed out. Another tip is to take the exam early. You've been at school for 4 years. Unless you weren't paying attention to anything in that school, You've been in that school for 4 years or plus or less, depending on what program you're taking. You've been in that school for years, taking, learning all that stuff, taking all those exams in the classroom. Like, you know your stuff. There's no reason why you have to wait 6 more months to take the exam. Like, you can be complacent and just like drag it out, not really studying much as you should be. Like, you want to take it as soon as possible where your mind is fresh, your brain is still fresh. You just got out of school, so all that knowledge that they put in your head is still there. Because I graduated, I did my pinning ceremony in January. My mom wanted me to take it that month. I was like, nah, that's too much. I wanted to wait like maybe March. But she was like, no, Michelle, if not this month, then February. I was like, okay, February is good for me. So I did February, so I only had a month between my graduation from nursing school and only had a month from then to study. And for me, that was good. Some people did less, like they took it like the next 2 weeks. People have their own time that they're ready, but my advice is just not to wait too long. I think that's pretty much it, honestly. Just make sure you're answering questions. Oh yeah, don't waste your time reading. Don't waste your time reading it. Like, when I mean reading, like, don't waste your time reading your chapters, reading your textbooks. No, that's not, studying for the Nclex is not time for you to be reading. And honestly, I think that's for any standardized exam. Like, you shouldn't be reading when you're studying for the standardized test. It's just time for you to be practicing, because the questions are not knowledge based, they're all application based. So you need to know how to answer the questions based on how the questions are going to be worded. The only reason why you should ever go back to study is if you got a question wrong because you didn't know it, like you didn't know a disease. And I guess that's a reason for you to go back and study it more. But besides that, you don't waste your time trying to study back on the chapters. I know studying for the exam is a very stressful moment for everyone. Every day you're just stressed, and as the time gets closer, the more stressed you become. So try to make it an effort to de-stress yourself, whether it is to go out and eat something, whether it's to just watch a TV show, whether it's just to take a nap, like, or just sit and lick a bowl of ice cream. Just try to mentally de-stress yourself. The day before I took my exam, I made sure that when I planned my reading schedule, I made sure I had time. So I had like, I think 2 days. So the other 3 days, 2-3 days, it was just like a way for me to mentally de-stress and prepare myself. I know I watched some educational video, just because, just keep my mind mentally active, but not so much as to stress myself out. I did some like very light reading, like just light review. And then the day of, or the night before, I made sure I ate. They say you have to make sure you eat a good dinner, and make sure you go to bed early, make sure you wake up early, make sure you have a good breakfast. Like, I did all those things, like, cross my T's, dot my I's, make sure I did the whole shebang. Yeah, make sure I was there early. Just all that little stuff. I try to like look cute and dress up a little bit just to put my mind in a happy mood kind of thing. Like, whatever it is that you can do to de-stress yourself, I suggest you do it. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I believe in every one of you. I think that as long as you really went to school and you learned from what they taught you in nursing school, you're good. Make sure whatever it is that you buy, they're practice books. Like, they're books full of questions. From page 1 to the end of the page is questions. That's all you need to know. Questions, 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 answer questions, answer questions. However it is that you take notes, whether it's by listening. Me, I'm a visual learner, so I always write things down. I always type them down and write them down. And the more I write them, the more I remember and retain the information. Like, make use of your resources that are around you. Don't take them for granted. Make sure that when you study, you answer every single question from your study source, whatever it is that you're doing. If you're doing Kaplan, if it's UWorld, if it's My Best Grade, if it's Lippincott, if it's SALT, whatever it is that you're doing, make sure that whatever you pick, you answer every single question. Make sure you de-stress yourself along the way. And last but not least, make sure you pray. I always say make sure you pray, because honestly, like, God is the only reason why I was able to survive nursing school. I was able to pass everything because, boy, I had a rough college experience. It was fun, but like, it was rough. Nursing wise, like, it was, I mean, I can look back and laugh or whatever, but back then I was going through it, so I know like it'd be stressful. It'd be stressful. So I know like it's important to de-stress yourself. And honestly, God's been helping me, and I was able to make it through. And look at me now. Hell, look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now. Okay. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped. I hope this encouraged, and I hope this educated some people on what to do. Alright? Do not be wasting your time. Just make sure you do it smart and pick the right choice and make the best use of whatever choice that you pick. Alright? So if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comment section. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.